Listen up, family, this is Denzel Washington, and I'm coming to you with a truth that hit me like a freight train. You ever feel like you're shouting into the void, trying to prove yourself to folks who don't even see you? Or maybe you're chasing dreams, love, or respect only to feel like it's slipping through your fingers? I've been there. Life can feel like a battlefield, with voices telling you you're not enough, bills piling up, and dreams fading in the rear view. But here's the hook. The real power, the kind that shifts your life, doesn't come from being the loudest or chasing the hardest. It comes from silence, from trusting God's plan, from knowing He's got you right where you need to be. What's your name, fam? Where you at right now, sitting in your car, scrolling at midnight, wondering if tomorrow's gonna be different? God's whispering to you today, stop striving, start listening, and let His timing work miracles. He sees your struggles, those late night worries, that heartbreak, that job that's draining you. He's calling you to rise above the noise, to find strength in stillness, and to trust that He's aligning everything for your victory. Let's walk this journey together, because I'm about to break down how silence, patience, and faith can transform your life. Have you ever noticed, folks, that the loudest cat in the room is often the weakest? I'm telling you, they're always talking, always trying to prove something, always chasing that pat on the back. But the strongest? That's the one moving in silence, trusting God's got their back. That's who wins. Let me share something real with you. Life under God's guidance has a way of giving you exactly what you need, right when you need it, but only if you learn to be still, to quiet your soul, and to trust His divine process. Because when you stop forcing outcomes, when you stop begging for approval, when you stop explaining yourself to people who don't get you, man, that's when God starts moving mountains in your favor. The right blessings will come, the right people will stay, and the wrong ones, they'll fade away on their own. All you got to do is stay silent, listen to God's voice, and let Him work His plan. Silence is power. Family, not just shutting your mouth, but opening your spirit to God's awareness. The moment you stop talking, the moment you resist that urge to justify yourself or prove your worth to folks who don't deserve your energy, that's when you take back control, with God leading the way. You start hearing His whispers, not just people's words, but the unspoken energy in the room, the hidden motives behind their actions, the truth God reveals beneath the chaos. Most folks can't handle silence. They talk because they're scared of it. They talk because they feel invisible. They think being louder makes them stronger. But God says true strength isn't in how much you say, it's in what you do when you hold back, trusting Him to guide your steps. It's about patience, about letting God's discipline shape you to observe and understand before you act. Think about the people you look up to, the leaders, the visionaries, the ones who walk with God's grace. They don't waste words. They don't clutter the air with empty chatter. They don't try to impress with promises they can't keep or hyped up stories. When they speak, you listen. Why? Because their words carry God's weight, backed by experience, wisdom, and a heart aligned with His purpose. That's the power of silence, fam. When God calls you to be still, you're not just quiet, you're listening to Him, to His truth. When you stop talking, you start hearing not just others, but yourself, guided by God's Spirit. You notice the thoughts that matter, the ones He's planting in your heart. You see the warnings you ignored when you were too busy chasing. You discern who's truly in your corner and who's just playing a part, all because God's showing you the truth. Talking too much blinds you. You can't observe, you can't analyze, you can't see what God's revealing between the lines. You miss the moments when people show their true colors, but God says, be still and know I'm God. Let them show you who they are, and you'll see it clearly if you trust His timing. What's your name, friend? What's weighing on you today? God's telling you to pause, to listen, to let His clarity wash over you. When you stay silent, you create space for God to reveal people's true hearts. You don't need to ask if they're loyal, just watch and let God show you. You don't need to beg for respect, just stand firm in His love and see how they treat you when you're not performing for them. Winning in life isn't about how much you say, it's about how much you understand through God's lens. Listen more than you speak, and you'll learn. You'll spot opportunities before they're obvious, see through deception, and feel God's guidance before life throws you off. Silence brings His clarity, and that clarity separates the strong from the weak. Picture a chess game, fam. The best players don't make reckless moves or broadcast their strategy. They sit in silence, reading the board, studying their opponent, waiting for God's perfect moment to act. That's life. Those who talk too much expose their plans, their weaknesses, without even knowing it. But the one who stays quiet, who trusts God's timing, that's the one who stays ahead always. God's calling you to move like that, strategic, patient, led by His wisdom. People respect silence more than words because anyone can talk. Anyone can make promises or claim they're strong. But real power, God's power, doesn't need a megaphone. It's felt in your presence, your actions, your ability to stand tall in silence and still command attention, knowing God's got you. When you stop talking, you start noticing. You catch the shifts in people's energy when they're not honest. You hear the tone change when they're not real. You sense hesitation, contradictions, all because God's giving you eyes to see and ears to hear. That awareness, that depth, is rare. Most folks never get there because they're too busy filling the silence instead of letting God speak through it. There's a reason the quietest people, rooted in God's strength, are often the most powerful. They're not silent because they're empty, they're silent because they're watching, analyzing, trusting God to guide their every move. They know words can distract, but silence is a weapon in God's hands. Start listening more than you speak, and you'll see how much noise is out there. Arguments not worth your energy. Explanations wasted on folks who've already judged you. Never owed, you never owed because you weren't wrong. God's saying, let go of the noise. Trust me to fight your battles. Silence is power, family. It keeps you from reacting on impulse. It saves you from words you'll regret. It steers you clear of fights that don't serve God's purpose. It lets you move with intention, precision, and a mind clear in His peace. Embrace silence and you'll filter out those who want your attention but not your good. You'll stop pouring into conversations that drain you. You won't feel the need to clap back at every insult or doubt. Because God's strength in you doesn't need to argue, it just stands firm, unshaken, undeniable. Some of life's biggest wins come from knowing when to stay quiet, letting your actions, your discipline, and your results speak for you. All under God's guidance. Keep your emotions guarded. Don't react when folks try to pull you down, because the second they learn how to get under your skin, they've got you. But stay silent, refuse to let them control you, and God makes you unstoppable. Where you at right now, fam? Feeling the pressure to respond, to prove yourself? God's saying, be still, I've got this. It ain't easy to be silent in a world that says loud equals important. But real power, God's power, isn't about noise. It's in your presence, your actions, the discipline to hold back and let Him lead. Stop talking, start listening, and you'll start winning. Wisdom lives in the quiet, strength grows in stillness, and those who master silence with God's help master life. Desperation pushes away what you want. The more you chase, the more it slips away love, success, respect, opportunities. It's like God's teaching us chasing screams neediness and nothing valuable sticks to that. Ever try catching a butterfly? You grab it, fly, stand still, trust God, and it lands on you. Life's the same. Chase too hard, and things run. But when you stop, focus on yourself, and walk in God's confidence, everything starts coming your way. People are drawn to what's rare, what's valuable. But when you chase someone, when you're too available, you dim your shine. You're telling them you'll bend over backward just to keep them. And that's when they start taking you for granted. They pull back, push boundaries because you've shown they don't need to earn you. But stop chasing, stop texting first, stop proving your worth, and watch God shift things. They'll notice your absence, wonder why you're not there, and start pursuing you not because you played games, but because you trusted God to show your value. Same goes for success. The ones who win big aren't begging for chances. They're preparing, building, waiting on God's timing. They work in silence and the right doors open. Desperate folks always trying to prove they're enough wear themselves out. But those who walk in God's quiet confidence, they don't need to be like, they just are. And that pulls everything to them. What's your story, fam? You chasing something that's draining you. God's calling you to stop, to trust Him, to let His plan unfold. Chasing comes from fear of losing, missing out, not being enough. But when you let that go, when you know God says you're enough, everything changes. You carry yourself with His strength. You speak with His authority. You don't settle for scraps because you know He's got a feast for you. You don't beg for love because God's love never needs begging. Stop chasing and you'll attract because you're walking in His abundance, not lack. What's meant for you won't make you lose yourself to keep it. The right people, the right blessings will come when God says it's time. This ain't about games or ignoring folks to play hard to get. It's about knowing your worth in God's eyes. You don't force what's yours. You don't beg for love or effort. If they value you, they'll show up. If not, chasing won't change a thing. Ever notice when you stop stressing, things fall into place? That job you let go of calls back. That person who walked away reaches out. That door you thought was locked swings open. That's not luck, that's God's alignment. Stop chasing and He takes the wheel. The more you try to control life, the messier it gets. But step back, let go, focus on you and God, and watch Him line it all up. People, timing, opportunities. Real power isn't in chasing, it's in trusting God's got you covered from the start. There's strength in silence, power in keeping your dreams and plans close, under God's protection. Not everyone deserves to know what He's building in you. Some folks just want to hear your plans to throw doubt your way. Others want to block your path. Some watch, not to cheer, but to take advantage. Overshare and you let in energy that drains you, discourages you, sabotages you. Some smile to your face, but behind your back, they're praying you fall. Not everyone wants you to win. Your growth reminds them of what they haven't done. They'll question you, act confused, but really they don't want you to outshine them. God's saying, guard your vision. Trust Maine to bring it to life. Talking too much gives folks access to what God's doing in you. Some should only see the finished work, not the process. They should hear the victory, not the grind. Expose your plans too soon, and you give others a chance to mess with you, to make you doubt. How many dreams died because someone spoke too early, shared with the wrong person, and let doubt creep in? Not everyone's rooting for you. Some cheer you on but don't want you to pass them. Silence protects your dreams, keeps your focus on God. Stop explaining, stop announcing, and you're free to move without distraction, without opinions, without pressure. Just work and let God make your results shout. The most successful folks don't broadcast every step. They grind in silence, trusting God's timing. By the time others catch up, it's too late to stop them. That's how you move quiet, disciplined, leaning on God, not applause. A lion doesn't roar every second to prove it's a lion. It moves with God's confidence. You don't need to prove yourself. Stay focused, stay steady, and let your results, blessed by God, do the talking. Too many waste energy explaining to the wrong people, trying to convince them they're serious. But only you need to believe in your dream. Only you need to see God's vision for you. When you trust Him, you don't need permission, you just act. The greatest breakthroughs start in silence. Before they change the world, they're built in the dark, away from noise, away from doubters. That's where God wants you. Don't waste time explaining, build. Silence protects your energy. You don't defend your choices. You don't let naysayers slow you down. You stay in control, moving without fear, with God's peace. When you reveal what He's done in you, it'll speak louder than words. Some folks ask about your plans just to measure themselves against you. They want to know if you're ahead. And if you are, they'll try to pull you back or copy you. Keep your moves private, and they've got nothing to work with. The greatest victories in history were planned in silence, revealed only when they were unstoppable. Work in the shadows and no one sees you coming. That's your edge, fam. Let them wonder, let them guess. While they think you're still, God's building something mighty in you. When it's time, when He says show it, nothing can stop you. It won't be about words, it'll be about results, and results with God's hand speak for themselves. Patience is a superpower, but too many call it weakness. In a world hooked on instant everything, patience is underrated. People think waiting means you're losing, that slowing down means you're behind, that if it's not now, it's never. But God's plan doesn't work like that. The strongest, most fulfilled folks know great things take time. They don't rush. They don't force. They trust God's process. What's your dream, fam? Feeling like it's taking too long. God's telling you to hold on. He's building something eternal in you. Impatience makes you desperate. You settle for less than God's best. You take shortcuts that cost you big. You jump into wrong relationships, jobs that don't fit, or quit when it's tough because you don't see results. But trust God's timing and you choose better. You wait for what aligns with His purpose, not just what's there. The tallest buildings, the strongest foundations, they take years. Rush the base, and it crumbles. Same with life. A real relationship, a thriving business, a strong mind, they need time, endurance, and faith, even when you can't see progress. Patience is discipline, showing up daily, believing in God's plan, even when nothing looks different. Real success isn't one big moment, it's small, steady steps adding up under His watch. Too many quit too soon, planting seeds but leaving when they don't sprout fast. But growth happens where you can't see. God's working roots deep in you. If you keep pulling up your seeds, you'll miss the harvest. Patience isn't sitting idle, it's working, believing, building while trusting God's timing. Society says fast equals success, but God says what's worth having takes time. Some things take longer because He's making them unshakable. The longer the wait, the bigger the blessing. The deeper the roots, the higher you'll rise. Patience proves you've got self-control. It's easy to get mad when things drag. It's easy to compare and feel behind. But when you're secure in God's path, you don't rush. You don't chase. You know He's got you. The successful ones didn't sprint, they built slow, steady with God. Shortcuts lead to setbacks, rushing to regret, impatience to settling. Patience lets you choose wisely, seeing God's full picture. Delays aren't denials, just God's perfect setup for something better. Where you at, fam? Feeling like giving up? God's saying, keep going. I'm not done yet. The strongest don't force, they trust, work, wait. They know God's timing is perfect. Silence is your greatest weapon, revealing truth. Stop explaining, stop defending, and people will show you who they are. Some will stay, some will pull back, some will try to control you, but stay silent, trust God, and you'll see the truth words hide. People talk to be heard, to feel seen, but stop explaining, and you'll see who's really listening, who's pretending, who's waiting for you to slip, who never cared. Explaining too much hands over your heart, some use it against you to break your boundaries, to stop your growth. Silence takes that power back with God's strength. Silence unsettles people, it forces them to show their hand. Stop chasing and they'll reveal if they care. Stop explaining and you'll see if they understand. The ones who respect your silence, who stay there, God's gift to you. The ones who leave, who guilt trip you, they were only there for what they could take. Who's in your life? Who's showing up when you're quiet? God's revealing their hearts, pay attention. Silence is a mirror, showing people's true selves. Step back and they face reality without your words hiding it. They can't twist your truth, can't use your energy, they show who they are. And God gives you peace to see it. Silence guards your peace. Let you watch without jumping in. Let you think before you act. All under God's guidance. You see who respects your boundaries, who cares, wants your attention. Some don't listen to hear you, they want to argue, to control. Stop talking and they've got nothing to grip. Silence shows who respects you, who stands by you, who supports you without needing you to prove your worth. Real connections, friends, family, love don't need constant explaining. They stand strong in the quiet, blessed by God. Those who demand explanations never got you. Those who get mad when you stop justifying wanted control. Those who vanish when you're silent were never there. Silence isn't weak, it's strategy, protecting your energy, showing who's meant for you, all through God's wisdom. The right people get you even in quiet. They respect you without validation. They stay when you stop talking. The truth shines when noise fades, and silence with God shows you everything. Validation is a trap, fam, a quiet addiction controlling you before you know it. It starts small, wanting to be liked, needing a nod, craving that you're killing it. Soon you're living for others' reactions. You dress for their eyes, talk to fit in. Chase things that don't matter, just to look good. You lose yourself. Seeking approval keeps you stuck, scared to risk, to stand alone, to live God's plan. You're handing others the keys to your worth, letting them decide what's enough. That's when you lose your way. Real power, God's power, doesn't beg for notice. It doesn't need cheers. The truly great move with quiet confidence, no need to announce, explain, or get permission. They just are, rooted in God. Stop seeking validation and you'll respect yourself more, walking in His truth. You know your worth, and you move different, no waiting for approval, no needing likes or claps. You know God says you're enough, and that's all you need. People respect those who don't beg for attention, who don't need reassurance. They're drawn to God's confidence in you because real power doesn't shout, it just is. The greatest don't chase attention, they work, build, move with God's purpose. Validation is weakness, giving others power over your worth. Without it, you doubt, hesitate, shrink. But validate yourself through God, and nothing shakes you. Criticism can't break you. Silence can't stop you. Rejection can't dim you. Your confidence is in Him. You are enough always. Wanting love is human, but needing it traps you. Stop needing it, and God sets you free. The world respects those who don't beg, who live for His mission, not applause. Stop seeking and you'll move with new power, no hesitation, no dimming your light. Confidence draws people. Self-assurance shines. Nothing stronger than knowing your worth in God's eyes. Absence teaches what words can't. It forces people to face what they took for granted: your love, your time, your heart. Always there, always giving. And they think you'll never leave. They see your kindness is owed. Your strength is guaranteed. But step back and God shows them what they lost. Being there means they don't see your value. They think you need them more. But absence, guided by God, wakes them up. They feel the void, the call's gone quiet, the warmth missing, and they see what they ignored. Absence reveals truth, making space for God to show their priorities. If they value you, they'll act. If they don't, they'll do nothing. That's God's answer. People only get your worth when you're gone, when they face life without you. You can't force them to see you. Explaining, chasing, giving more just pushes them away. Silence lets their thoughts teach them, showing if they cared or not. Loss is the hardest lesson. Only absence shows what they ignored. If it doesn't, they never valued you. God's saying, let them go. I've got better. Absence shows their heart. If they move on without a thought, you weren't their priority. It hurts, but it's freedom. You don't prove your worth. It's not your job to beg. Let absence and God teach them. They'll either fight for you or show they never cared. Either way, you see clear. Absence filters out the fake, showing who's real, who's just using you. If they don't miss you, your presence didn't matter. Why waste energy on that? God's calling you to value yourself. Step back, go silent, let absence work, and God shows you who they are. If they care, they'll notice. If they love you, they'll reach out. If they value you, they won't let you go. If they do nothing, that's your truth. Absence isn't games, it's clarity, protecting your energy, letting God reveal who's for you. Some only see your worth when you're gone. They'll fight, or they'll walk. Either way, you and you're meant for spaces where you're cherished, not tolerated, and God makes that clear. Trusting God's timing in this fast world is tough. We rush, chase instant wins. We think success is quick, easy. But God's nature shows us growth takes time. Timing isn't ours to force. Seasons change slow, trees grow steady, rivers flow natural. Your life unfolds when God says so. Nature doesn't rush, but it gets done. The sun rises, flowers bloom, rain falls, all in God's order. We're in that rhythm. Stop controlling. We panic when things don't move fast compared to others, worry we're late. But God's clock is perfect. Rushing misses His beauty. Growth can't be forced. Trusting God's timing means letting go, knowing He's got it. Like a seed in soil, you're growing, even if you can't see it. Trees don't fruit overnight, they build roots, slow and strong. They don't rush, they trust God's process. You don't compare, don't wish for faster. You grow and you'll stand tall because you trusted Him. Your path is yours, stop measuring against others. Life's not a race, be patient, keep going, trust God. Your blessings are coming. When it's time, God aligns it all. Trees don't fear winter, they rest, knowing spring's coming. Trust delays aren't denials, they're God's preparation. Even when it feels still, He's working beneath the surface, growing roots. Keep going, don't compare. What's yours will come. There's no deadline for dreams, no age to start, no timer on love or purpose. Your journey's unique, unfolding as God planned. Rushing blinds us to growth. Seeds look still, but they're working, rooting, repairing. One day they sprout, growth was always there. We want success without waiting, rewards without struggle. But the journey shapes you, lessons, strength, resilience, patience. Without it, you're not ready for what's next. Patience is power. Trusting God's timing is strength. Waiting isn't failure, it's growing, right where He needs you. The best things take time, built with care. Masterpieces, relationships, purpose, they're slow, but they're worth it. Trust God's timing and you'll stop comparing, stop worrying. Focus on your path, your growth. You're where He needs you, moving toward His plan. His timing is perfect. One day you'll see every challenge, setback, wind-shaped you. Even when it's quiet, God's moving. Trust His rhythm, and you'll get what's yours. Nature says you don't rush. Don't force, just trust. Life's moving, so trust the journey. Trust you're right where God wants you. Trust His timing. Breathe, relax, and watch Him unfold it all, just as He promised. Family, this is Denzel Washington, and I'm leaving you with a fire in your soul. God's calling you to silence the noise, to trust His timing, to walk in His power. You don't need to chase, beg, or prove you're enough right now in His eyes. What's your name, fam? What dream's burning in you? Where are you standing today, facing heartbreak, doubt, or a mountain you can't climb? God's saying, I see you, I've got you. Trust me, let go of the need to be loud, to be seen, to be validated. Your strength is in stillness, your victory in patience, your healing in His plan. You're not behind, you're exactly where He's shaping you for greatness. I'm calling you to rise. Stop explaining, start building, stop chasing, start trusting. Let God filter your life, keep who's real. Let go who's not. Your story's unfolding, and it's beautiful because it's His. What's one step you can take today? Maybe it's praying for peace, cutting off toxic ties, or just sitting in silence to hear Him. Whatever it is, do it with faith. Share your heart below what spoke to you. What's God stirring in you? Drop a I'm trusting God or your story, and let's lift each other up. This ain't just a message, it's a movement. Like, share, tag someone who needs this. Let's spread God's truth, build a community of warriors walking in His purpose. You're unstoppable, fam, now go live it, with God leading every step.